Ms. Bates. Do you have a tax question?
I do. There's a bunch of creepy kids in this house I moved into.
Oh. Are they your kids?
No, they were here when I moved in.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Can I claim them as dependents?
Unfortunately, you can't, but you may be able to deduct some of your moving expenses.
Good. Because I'm going to have to move again.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Puneet Shetty, and I work with TokBox as a product manager there. So real-time video solutions, as has been used by Kathy Bates in the commercial, can be a daunting proposition for most. And for many reasons. It takes a lot of effort to build. Once built, it's very hard to set up a video call. Usually, it's not reliable. The quality is not assured. And as an end user, you're expected to download a plugin or an application, all of which results in poor user experience. So today, I want to talk about how TokBox is putting all these notions to rest. We are working with banks, insurance companies, and other financial services who are not necessarily video experts to help them use video to enable high-quality, high-touch, face-to-face experiences for their customers. So enough said. Let me show you how this can be done using TokBox in a very, very short time. So to set the context, I am an IT executive who works for Soma Financial Partner, and this is what my customer sees today when they log into the account, information about the account. And as a goal, I want to make this experience more engaging, and I want to add video to this workflow. I have chosen to go with TokBox to embed video for me. So I would go into my TokBox account, create a new embed, specify the name, set up the size of the video widget. I would also need the URL of the hosting website. And when I create this embed, I get a few lines of code, which I can then copy and paste into my index file of the HTML code for the web page that we just saw. So let's save this. So what we have seen is, in really short time, in a matter of less than a minute, we have managed to add an ability for my customers to use video chat to get in touch with a financial advisor. Let's see how that might play out. So, hey, Liz. So she's my financial advisor right now. So all of this has happened in the context of the account without your end user having to download any plugin or application. And that is possible because TokBox is based on this technology called WebRTC, Web Real-Time Communication, that allows you to embed real-time communication natively into majority of the browsers and mobile endpoints. If I were to spend a little bit more time, I can extend the capabilities to include other collaboration tools that might be needed, such as screen sharing, annotation, ability to get multiple people on the call, and also ability to integrate with your existing contact center infrastructure on which you've already spent a lot of money on. Let's see how this might play out in the real world. So I have received, now I'm a customer of Soma Bank, and I have received an email from my financial wealth advisor requesting to connect. So when I do that, it's opening the existing mobile phone application that is already downloaded on the phone. Let's get in with my name. So again, we have Liz here, who's my financial wealth advisor. I can use audio and video to have her answer any of my queries. I can also co-browse and use annotation to ask specific questions about any of these figures that might be there. And all of this leads to faster resolution and better customer satisfaction for the financial services bank that has gone ahead and implemented this. So we have seen how easy it is to do video using TokBox. But it's also extremely important because based on some of this data, we know that a lot of people are accessing their banking and financial services online. But at the same time, when it comes to money, there's always anxiety associated with it. And human element does matter. So the digital challenge for financial services is, how do you provide that human touch when more and more of your customers are interacting with you using mobile application, ATM kiosks, or web portals? And a lot of our customers have actually turned to video. We have seen already how Intuit has used video in its mobile application in the commercial we saw earlier. RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, and Standard Chartered have added video banking capability, where they have added video so that an end user can communicate with the customer service representative using mobile phone or web portal. Esurance has added video for instant video appraisal, so that as a customer of Esurance, if I do meet with an accident, I can immediately use my mobile phone application, connect with the claims representative, show them using video exactly the extent of damage, and the claims representative can then walk me through the process of the appraisal. And all of this makes this process very efficient, and also saves a lot of money to Esurance because they don't have to send a real person in the field to do this. So the use cases that we just spoke about are all real-world use cases that are already in place, and both customers and financial services are benefiting from it. So if, as a financial services company, you're not looking at video, you're probably already falling behind the curve. TokBox, as a go-to platform for any and every video use case, it gives us a very interesting vantage point. And we see trends in video that we feel has implications for financial services. And one of them is the rise of social expectations. All of these are very familiar social media platform brands. A lot of them have already added video or are in the process of adding video. So 3 billion users who use these platforms actively now expect live video communication to be available at a click of a button on the palm of their hands. We've also worked with some of these startups, social startups, who are building these applications and are changing the way people behave. An example is that of House Party, which was released sometime last year. It's a multi-party video chat for friends to hang out, but it's already competing with Snapchat as far as post-millennials are concerned and their mindshare. So an app like this has created a social phenomena by creating an online living space where friends can drop in and drop out and hang out with each other. So apps like these and the ones we saw before are not only changing people's expectation, but also changing the way they behave. And a lot of these consumers are your customers. So the competition for financial services is not just going to come from the technologically savvy incumbents or fintech startups. It's also probably going to come from social networks, the ones we saw earlier. And we already see this play out in China, where people can pay their rent using Alibaba.com. I can buy mutual funds using Baidu. I can apply for a loan on WeChat for $30,000 and get approved in a matter of minutes. So as a financial services provider, you need to start looking beyond just the brick and mortar form of service delivery. You have to look at how you can engage these new generation customers and workers in an environment that is familiar to them and present financial data in a more visual, engaging manner. Here's an example of one of our customers, a startup in UK, who's attempted to do this. So they have created it's Yahoo Finance on steroids. So they have created a social platform around finance. But in addition to aggregating real-time data about finance, they've also created this broadcast platform using TokBox, where an expert can share their opinion and views, and thousands of real-time viewers can be watching it, and they can jump in and participate with the viewer, while all of this is being watched on social media platforms. So the question that comes to me when I see these kind of startups is, why is it a startup in UK that is doing this, and why not a well-known brand who's putting this as part of their customer experience and customer journey? Let's again take an example of the same video we saw earlier, and I'll update this customer flow to now include a broadcast workflow. So I'm updating the embed code that I added earlier with the broadcast workflow. and I reload the page. So again, the context now is I'm a customer of a bank. I have logged in. And what I see is my account here with all the details. But in addition to that, I also see this expert who's talking about a topic of my interest. And at this point of time, I can either just consume this content or get in line to participate with the expert while all of this content is being watched by thousands of real-time viewers, each of whom can actually jump on the presentation and have a conversation with the expert. And you have, let's have a look at how that would appear. So I'm on stage now. I can have a conversation with an expert, and the same content is also being watched by millions of viewers on Facebook, and you have more and more eyeballs looking at the valuable content that you have created. So to conclude, we have talked about a variety of different use cases, all of which are being powered by the same single platform, TokBox, which we call as the communication platform as a service. And what it's allowing financial services to do is build, deploy, and scale valuable video and social experiences so that as a financial services company, you don't have to be asking yourself questions like, how difficult is it to build? How do I manage the quality of experience for my end user? Instead of that, you should be focusing on creating these immersive, engaging experiences and deepening your engagement with your customers and driving value with them. Yeah. So that's the end of the presentation. I'm happy to take questions now. Right. So this is a very common question and a very good one at that. So when you talk about video, the first thing that comes to mind is what kind of bandwidth do you require to manage a video session? And obviously, there are requirements for different kinds of video. For example, for HD, you need a certain kind of bandwidth. For QVGA, you need a different kind of bandwidth. But I think what's more important is how do you manage the quality of experience for your end users while the network varies? Because the network conditions are never static. They keep changing. It's dynamic. So the technology that we are based on and the intelligence that our platform has, it automatically detects any variation in the network and is able to change the quality of experience for your end user so that you are able to do video. And in the worst case scenario where the bandwidth cannot handle video, you can fall back to audio so that in the worst case, you're at least able to have a conversation between, maintain the conversation between the two users or multiple users that you might have in your call. Yes, so again, as I've already talked about with regards to the security of the video chat, we have a platform that is already being used by banks and insurance companies, and that's the first question that they already ask us. So it is a secure network. It is compliant. It's also being used by telehealth partners, so it's HIPAA compliant as well. And one of the things that people do is, for financial services, is they archive content. They record content, and that's where the security comes into play. And we have a whole end-to-end encrypted workflow for that, so that the data that is being recorded is always encrypted from the time it's created. So that's taken care of as well. As far as real-time video is concerned, it's happening. It's transient, so it's not really stored anywhere. Whereas the recorded content will be pushed to the storage of your choice. So it could be Amazon S3 or Microsoft Azure. The cloud storage of your choice, you can configure that, and any recorded content will be pushed to that. And as I mentioned earlier, the recorded content has an encrypted workflow end-to-end, so that from the time it's created on our platform to the time it's pushed to yours configured storage, it'll always be encrypted. Does TokBox work with Xamarin mobile apps? We don't work directly with Xamarin mobile apps, but what we do support iOS and we do support Android, and we do have plugins that will allow you to work with Xamarin mobile apps. So we have SDKs for iOS and Android, and you could build layers on top of that for it to work with Xamarin and Cordova and other such platforms.